All right, folks, we are officially live. Welcome, everybody, to my weekly Sunday live stream where I answer your questions. I always really look forward to doing these. These are always a lot of fun. I cannot believe that this is already number 40 now at this point. It's really unbelievable. It's just incredible how fast the time goes, man. I couldn't believe it was already number 40 when I was making the title for this live stream. I had no idea I've already done this many of these, but man, it's always a lot of fun, and I just love hanging out with you guys. And thank you so much for all the support, and thank you so much for watching all my videos as of late. These videos have just been performing incredibly well, and we have a lot to talk about in today's live stream. A lot of good videos that I posted here on the channel, and definitely kind of stirred up the pot a little bit with my latest video talking about the Nobles ODR1 and how overrated it really is. I mean, it is really not that great of a pedal, in my humble opinion. That's just my opinion. I do think that the Lightspeed is significantly better sounding in comparison to the Nobles, and it is a fraction of the price. So that's really why I made that video, and I think it is just really hyped up, and I just cannot believe that those Nobles are selling for $1,800 now. I mean, it is just mind-blowing. Like I was saying in the video, you know, I 10 years ago here in Nashville, I was able to find these Nobles for $150, $200 tops if it had the box and the paperwork. And when I seen that the other day on Reverb, that somebody had listed one for $1,800, I just was baffled. I mean, and like I was saying with that video, you know, with these old Nobles, they're all over the place. You know, there's some of them that are very good sounding, but I would say about 90% of them, the majority of them, sound terrible, honestly. There's a ton of low end. There's, you know, a lot of the pots were switched around, so there's very little gain on them. I mean, and, you know, I just made that video because I don't want somebody to spend $1,800 on a Nobles and, you know, get stuck with something that doesn't sound good, you know. I think that Lightspeed for $250, I guess, is what they're selling for now. That is a excellent buy. I mean, it's a great pedal, and it just sounds amazing. I think it does sound better than the Nobles ODR1, just in my humble opinion. Now, there are some Nobles that sound excellent, but you know, I would say maybe 10% of them sound very good, you know, but the majority of them are just all over the place. So that's really why I made that video, but definitely stirred the pot up a little bit. I think some people were a little pissed off because they probably spent, you know, $1,500 or $1,800 on the Nobles, and you know, I get it. You know, whenever I make those videos, I always kind of know going into it, like, there's going to be some people that are pretty pissed off, you know, because it's a very sensitive thing, you know. I mean, people are spending a lot of money on this stuff, and you know, when I give my honest take and my honest opinion on it, you know, some people don't like to hear that, obviously, because they've spent a lot of money on this stuff. So anyways, that video is doing really well, and I loved that intro too that I did for that video. That I was just playing my reissue 59-335, and I've modified that guitar a lot. So I took out the original pickups, which were custom buckers, and I put in a set of patent number pickups from the 60s, and then I changed out the pots and the caps as well to a 64 wiring harness that would be inside of a 1964 Gibson ES335. And man, those old pots and the old caps just sound excellent, and that guitar has just really changed a lot, man. It sounds so good. I'm so happy with it. And another thing I did with that guitar actually was I put a set of no-line Kluson tuners on there as well from 58. And just in my opinion, the tuners make a tremendous difference in the acoustic sound of these electric guitars, and that is a part of it as well. So I'm just so happy with the tone of that guitar, man. It just sounds excellent. I don't want to change a damn thing on that guitar. So really happy with that, and I got a lot of good comments and a lot of positive feedback from that intro as well. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, folks, you know, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I'm just going to hang out with you guys, you know, and these live streams are all about you guys, so it's whatever you guys want to make these live streams, whatever you want to talk about, whatever questions you guys have for me. I always really look forward to doing these. We normally have a lot of familiar names that join up here on these live streams, and, you know, it's always a lot of fun. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. And if you guys would like to support me, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me here on this channel, and these live streams are truly a donation of time. I literally make nothing on this live stream. So if you guys want to contribute, again, check out the links down below. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo or a PayPal tip jar or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really, really appreciated. I also want to take the time to mention and give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Killer Vintage. Killer Vintage is a great shop that is based in St. Louis and Dallas, Texas. And last weekend I was in the Dallas, Texas area, and I stopped into the shop there to see what they had, and they gave me this really cool gift. And this is the Tunerette. Try to get this to focus in here. Let's see. Hopefully. God damn it. Trying to get this to focus. Here we go. I guess that's okay. It's good enough. But it's really cool. This is actually a tuner. So it's called the Tunerette. And it looks like a cigarette. And a lot of rock and roll guitar players would take their actual cigarette and put it on the headstock of the guitar. And this thing is very accurate, actually. It's a very good tuner. I really, really like it a lot. And it's cool, man. It comes in this packaging that's kind of like the Lucky Strike cigarettes. That's funny. That focused right on in. But I couldn't get the dang tuner to focus in. Oh, well. But very cool. Basically the idea is it's one of these clip-on tuners where you just clip it onto the headstock, and you could do it right on the side, kind of by the low E string, and just set it right on the headstock, and you can use it as a tuner. So you don't even need a tuner pedal on your pedal board. So really cool product here and really good idea. I'm surprised nobody came up with this sooner, because you just see a lot of old rock and roll guitar players. They always had their cigarette on the headstock, as they were playing, and it's really badass looking, But I love this product. It's a really great tuner, very high quality build, and the guys there are super nice. They're really cool guys, and they're huge fans of the show as well. So that was really cool, and that was a nice surprise for sure. But man, they were showing me all kinds of really cool instruments. I was playing all kinds of different stuff, and just had a lot of fun down there. It's a really good shop, and like I was saying, they have a location in St. Louis as well, and they have a really good selection of great vintage guitars and cool amps and cool cabinets and stuff. And always the move for me whenever I'm in St. Louis is I go to his shop there, and then I'll go over to Pappy's Smokehouse, which is my favorite barbecue place ever there in St. Louis. I think it is absolutely incredible. So that's always a lot of fun there, going out there in St. Louis. But yeah, again, a huge thank you to Killer Vintage for this amazing tunerette. You guys should go and check this out, man. These are really cool. It is a very good tuner, and it's very accurate, which I was really surprised with, because honestly, a lot of the headstock tuners, like the Snark ones, or I don't even know the other companies off the top of my head, but they're just very inaccurate, honestly, and they're not very good, so I would not trust it at all. But I would definitely trust the Tunerette, man. It's a very, very good tuner, and just a great idea, really cool. So go and check that out. And again, a huge thank you to Killer Vintage for the free Tunerette here, this great product here. So very, very cool, really good guys. So go and check them out. But yeah, folks, this week I've just been teaching a bunch. What else have I been up to? Just kind of the same old, really. I'm just playing, I'm teaching, just doing the same old thing. I've been busy with that though, so I'm very lucky for all the work. And I've had a lot of inquiries about these lessons from here on YouTube. So I have written everybody back now at this point. So check your email if you are one of those people that sent me an email. But just really excited about the future, folks. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. I've got a bunch of videos that I'm thinking about doing. And I was talking with JD Simo the other day, and we've been wanting to do this video together for a long time now. But it's just been very difficult with our schedules, because JD is a very busy guitar player. He's an amazing musician. He's always up to something. He's always on tour or always doing something. And I've been playing a bunch as well. So it's just been really hard to kind of link up and find the time to get together to do this video. So I'm hoping that this week we can find some time and record this video. And I think it's going to be a really good video, JD is a phenomenal guitar player. I love his playing. He's amazing. So here on my channel, I try to really only feature the best of the best and the guys that I really like. You know, any other player that I feature on my channel, I have a lot of respect for. I think they're just phenomenal musicians and phenomenal guitar players. So I'm pretty excited about that with JD. But so stay tuned for all of that. And yeah, I've just got a bunch more content coming up. I'm probably going to do an updated guitar collection video as well once I get my other guitars back. I currently have my R9 out right now, and also my Les Paul Custom as well. So the R9 is done, but I'm just waiting to pick up both guitars together. The Custom, I'm having a lot of work done to that guitar because it originally had a Nashville bridge, which I absolutely hate. The Nashville bridges, they really change the acoustic sound of the guitar so much, and I just think the ABR is significantly better than the Nashville bridge. So what I'm actually doing is I'm actually having the holes filled from the Nashville bridge, and then I'm also having it refinished just on the holes there so that you can't even see the holes that are filled there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually drill and put the ABR into the body like how it would be on an R9 or, you know, a 335 or an SG or something like this, because that really does change the acoustic sound of the guitar. You know, there's a company out there called Faber, which is a really great company, by the way. They make great products, but they have a conversion where essentially the idea with this is that you put these metal studs into the existing holes from the Nashville bridge, and then you just simply put on the ABR1 on top of these metal studs. But to my ear, and in my opinion, I think that this really changes the tone, and it's a lot sharper and it's a lot brighter because the strings in the bridge is resonating on actual metal studs rather than it resonating through the wood of the body. So that's just my opinion. That's what I hear, you know, and I hear my guitar tone under a microphone all of the time. So that's just what I hear, you know, but to each their own. You know, I think it's still a great product, and I think, you know, Faber makes great stuff, and I do love their bridges. I actually have one right here. This is just a Faber ABR1, and it's got the metal saddles, and what's cool is that the saddles are already machine cut, so they're absolutely perfect spacing, you know. Some guys like to take the low E and the high E saddle on these bridges and leave them unnotched so that they can kind of move it in a little bit, like if you're playing a Les Paul or something like this, so that the string doesn't slide off the neck or the fretboard, I mean. So that I totally get, but for me, I just like to have the spacing absolutely dead on perfect, and that's what I love with these Fabers. You know, it's all machine cut, so it's absolutely dead on perfect, the spacing, and that's that bridge there. So go and check that out. And they sound very good as well. They're very good, honestly. You know, they're not like a vintage ABR. I mean, they're okay, but, you know, they work, man. They sound good, you know. They're also very cheap, too. I mean, they're not very expensive. I mean, there's some other companies out there that are making these reproduction ABR1s and stop bars and stuff, and, you know, they're charging a lot of money, you know. And even original 50s ABR1s now, I mean, they're going for like $3K plus now, $3,000 and up. So pretty unbelievable. I actually have one here in the box. Let's see. This here, this is the original box for an original ABR. I'm trying to get this to focus in. Here we go. Yeah, so it's got the original box here. And then this thing is literally like a new old stock ABR. Super nice. Still got everything in there, which is pretty cool. Nice touch, too, to have the original box. This is super rare. So I'm probably just going to hang on to it, though, because they're going for so much money now that I don't want there to be any issues with the bridge sagging or if there's any cracks or anything like this when it's under a lot of tension. So I'm probably just going to collect that and just kind of hang on to it. But pretty cool to have the original box, and it's in very good condition, the box and the bridge there as well. So that's why, you know, for me, like, I really like the Faber bridges. I think they're very useful. They're very good. They sound good. They work well. And they are close to a vintage bridge, honestly. And for the money, you really can't beat them. So That's pretty cool there. But yeah, just going back to that Les Paul Custom, I'm really excited to get that back and see how that all works out. I really kind of wish I would have recorded some audio samples of the changes. But it just drove me nuts when I was using that conversion from the Nashville bridge to the ABR, the Faber system, because it was so much brighter in comparison to the Nashville bridge. And it's so much brighter in comparison to what I'm used to with just a normal ABR setup where it's actually mounted into the wood of the body. I could hear it clear as day, and it's definitely different for sure. So I'm really excited to get that back. And that guitar is just a badass Les Paul Custom, man. It is awesome. It's a great stage guitar. It really looks good under stage lights, and it's just a great performing stage guitar. I mean, it sounds great. It's a nice weight, and the top on it is just amazing. So I'll probably do an updated guitar collection video once I get those instruments back. So stay tuned for that as well. I've got a bunch of new instruments and some more stuff that has come in lately that I just absolutely love. So stay tuned for all of that. But once again, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. Once again, these live streams are all about you guys. It's all about what you guys want out of these. And, this is a donation of time once again, folks. So if you feel like you got something out of today's live stream and you would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me. I offer one-on-one online lessons, and there's tons of other ways, tons of other links that are linked down below in the description box as well. So check out all of that stuff. And I really do appreciate any and all support. I cannot do this without you guys. So again, thank you. Let's see here. Neil Gorham 6786 is in the house. Hey man, what's going on? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, did you use the Faber threaded steel post conversion or brass insert post conversion? Man, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I want to say it was steel, but I could be wrong. It could be brass. I literally had it on for one gig and I immediately took it out because I'm like, there's no way that I could live with this sounding like this. It was just so much brighter, and I think there is something to that. When the ABR is resting on those metal studs, it's just a brighter tone. It's a different tone in comparison to having it mounted into the wood of the body. I think that really changes the sound. It's a much warmer tone when it's mounted into the wood of the body. And when you have all of that metal that you're working with, where this ABR is resting on that metal, there definitely is more top end for sure. I mean, it just changes the tone significantly. It's definitely a different system. And, but even the Nashville bridge, the Nashville bridge as well, it changes the tone significantly. And I just don't like it. I don't like the, Nashville bridge at all. On a Les Paul, to me, the ABR1 is a big part of the sound and what I hear a Les Paul sounding like. What I'm used to, what I like, what I prefer, it has to be the ABR. And the thing is that it's so frustrating to me nowadays with the reproduction Les Pauls is that all of that stuff is completely incorrect. The ABR1, the stop bar, the studs for the ABR, and the thumb wheels are all completely off. The material is not right. And, it's not just historical significance. This really affects the tone of the instrument acoustically, and in turn it will affect the tone of it plugged up because the acoustic sound is different. When you're using different material on all of that and that whole system, it has to be correct. The way that the string is vibrating on that system, it changes the tone acoustically. And another thing as well as the tuners also change the tone acoustically. This is my opinion, and I swear by it. It does change the tone. And if you wanted to do a simple test, just simply compare a set of Grovers with a set of Clousons. They are very different sounding. And what I found so interesting was, I first learned about this because I was modifying my R9 Les Paul, and I just wanted to get it as close as I could to what a real 59 would have, like the tuners. I don't have the real set of PAFs, they're patent numbers, but I prefer patent numbers as I've talked about in the past. But I also have a 57 wiring harness in that guitar as well. That would be a 57 wiring harness for a 57 gold top Les Paul. And so for me at that point, I just wanted to get it as close as I possibly could to what a 59 would be. And, I was amazed when I put those old tuners on there, how much of a difference that it made in the acoustic sound. I never would have thought of that, honestly. I know Grovers and Clusons always sounded different, but I was just amazed with that particular set of tuners. It has just transformed the acoustic sound of that guitar. It's just absolutely incredible. So it was just a happy accident. I honestly had no idea. But since then, I've completely modified all of my reissue guitars. So I have a Pelham Blue SG that I put a set of 64 tuners on, the single line and double ring. And then, what was the other one? I got the no line Clusons on my 335. So I've just done them to all of my reissue guitars, and I just swear by it, man. I think it makes a huge difference. Of course, the pots and the caps make a huge difference. The material that the ABR, the material that the stop bar is made, all of this stuff just really impacts the tone significantly. So I really swear by this stuff. But thanks so much for the question, man. Really appreciate that. But yeah, once again, Faber makes really good stuff. I'm not trying to diss them at all. They make a great product. It's just, in my humble opinion, that conversion is definitely different, man. It definitely is much, much brighter in comparison to a normal ABR setup. Oh man, going here for about 21 minutes already. Phone's blowing up here. Here we go. All right, cool. Let's see here. Neil says here, did you go to DBX in Nashville Thursday? I seen you went to a UFC event not too long ago. No, I didn't go to that on Thursday. Yeah, I went to the UFC fight. I was like 4 rows back from the ring, which was really cool. I had never experienced a UFC fight before, so I thought that was really a cool way to experience the fight, just being right there, And it was just epic, man. It was really, really cool. So I really enjoyed it. I love UFC. It's one of my favorite sports. It probably actually is my favorite sport. I just think it's great that there's no political BS with UFC. They just get in the ring and they duke it out, and whoever wins, wins. Whoever's the best wins, and that's it. And I just love that. It's fun. I think the people that run the event, they're very professional, and even those fighters, they have so much talent, man. I mean, it's so hard. All of the training that leads up to the fight and just everything. I mean, it's there's so much that goes into it, and I just absolutely love it. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's a great sport. I think it would be cool to see it in the Sphere in Vegas. That would be amazing. But I'm sure the tickets would be outrageous for something like that. So, yeah, that's kind of nuts. But, yeah. But anyways, folks, if you guys have any other questions, looks like we have a pretty decent crowd here. So feel free to ask away. Once again, these live streams are all about you guys, and I am just donating my time here. I don't make anything on these live streams whatsoever. So if you guys would like to contribute, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. I offer one-on-one online lessons, and these lessons are all shot on a 4K camera, and it's all pro audio as well. And what is so cool with these lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So you can really retain the information that I give out within these lessons, and I really pack these lessons with a lot of information. So I really want it to be worthwhile for everybody, and I've spent a lot of money to make sure that the setup is very good. And I honestly think it is actually better than actually having a real in-person lesson where we are sitting right next to each other in a room. I think it's actually better doing this online because you just get the recorded copy, and it's a full HD, full pro audio setup. I mean, it sounds amazing, and you can rewatch it as many times as you want. So if you are interested in this, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. It's linked down below in the description box. And that is my personal email as well. So if you guys have any questions or you guys just want to reach out, feel free to send me an email there. That email, again, is jkm4231@gmail.com. And while you're down there in the description box, you'll see that I have a PayPal and Venmo tip jar. And again, if you guys want to throw a little love in these tip jars or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really appreciated there. I did also give Sweetwater Music my top gear picks, and I just narrowed it down to about 2 pages. And Sweetwater Music sells so much gear, it is absolutely unbelievable. So it was really overwhelming to even narrow it down to just 2 pages, but I just gave them my top picks, and I love Sweetwater. I've bought a bunch of stuff from them over the years, and they're just a great company. They're great people to deal with. So if you guys are looking to buy some kind of gear, whether it's like a deluxe reverb reissue or a Nobles or whatever, a new Les Paul, I just get a small little commission off the sale if you just simply click the link down below. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra whatsoever. It's just a really cool way to support me here on this channel if you're already looking to buy some kind of gear. So be sure to check out that link down below there. And again, I really do appreciate any and all support. But yeah, folks, once again, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. Looks like we still have a pretty decent crowd here. We've been going for about 30 minutes now already. So pretty wild. I can't believe that this is number 40 now at this point, man. It's just unbelievable. Just how fast time goes, man. It's crazy. So I've done 40 of these now at this point. Wild. But anyways, we've got Soft Southern Night here with an amazing super chat. Very loyal supporter here, folks. And thank you so much, Soft Southern Night. Seriously, man, I really do appreciate you, man. God bless you, man. That's awesome. Thank you for all the support that you give me, man. I cannot do this without people like yourself that contribute and support me. And he says here, just another park, another Sunday. Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much again, man. Seriously, really do appreciate it. It's just amazing, this community. I'm so thankful to everybody that supports me and watches the videos and contributes. Again, I cannot do it without you guys, without folks like yourself, Soft Southern Night. I cannot continue on to do this. So I'm forever thankful to everybody out there that contributes, that takes my lessons, that does super chats, that does Venmo tips and PayPal tips. It's just incredible, this community, just the amount of love that I've received here on YouTube. It has just been absolutely incredible. So again, thank you so much for that. And if you have any questions for me too, man, feel free to ask away. But yeah. So again, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. This week, I'm just got a bunch more lessons. I'm going to be teaching a bunch. Like I was saying earlier, I do have some more content planned out that I'm going to film, that I'm going to record here. I'm going to be eventually featuring JD Simo on a video. I really have been wanting to get him on a video. He's an amazing guitar player, and I have this pedal board from Drybell Effects that they sent me a while back, and we were supposed to do a video together a while back, but like I was saying earlier, it's just kind of hard to link up because everybody's schedule is so insane, between touring and teaching and doing whatever. It's just really difficult to find the time. So hopefully we'll try to do that this week. We'll see how that goes, so stay tuned for that. But myself, I have a bunch of videos coming up as well, so stay tuned for all of that as well. Yeah, if you are just joining me here, I do want to give another shout out to Killer Vintage. It's an amazing shop that is in Dallas, Texas, and they also have a location in St. Louis as well. And this is pretty cool, man. This is a little headstock tuner. I'll try to get this thing to... Here we go. That focused in this time. But it's pretty cool. It's actually a headstock tuner, kind of like a Snark or something like this, but much, much better. It's a very accurate tuner, and what is cool is that it's actually made, and it looks like an actual cigarette. So a lot of old rock and roll guitar players would always have a cigarette, and then they would put it in the headstock, and this here just looks like a cigarette, and it just mounts right onto your headstock there. And they gave this to me for free, which is really nice. I thought it was a really cool gift. And I've just been really impressed with how accurate that this tuner is. It's absolutely amazing. It's much, much better than a Snark. The Snark tuners are really bad, honestly. They're all over the place. It's not an accurate tuner at all. But this is very good, actually, which I was really impressed with. And, you could honestly have one of these and take a tuner pedal off your pedal board, which is pretty cool. So, check them out. It's pretty cool. The packaging is modeled like after the old Lucky Strike cigarettes. And it's just called the Tunerette. So, very cool there. Wanted to give another shout out there, and it's a great shop as well. If you happen to be in the St. Louis or the Dallas, Texas area, they have an amazing selection. They have a great inventory of gear and instruments, and it's a dangerous place for me to walk into, just to be honest. I mean, I just want to blow literally all my money there, because they have so many amazing instruments there. So really, really cool shop, and whenever I'm in those areas, I always try to make the time to stop by. And I've played St. Louis a bunch of times over the years, and in Texas as well. I've played there a bunch over the years, and whenever I have time during the day, I try to make it over there. So, and if you're also in the St. Louis area, you should really check out a barbecue place called Pappy's Smokehouse. This is an absolutely amazing barbecue place. I think it's literally hands down my favorite barbecue place in the country. The place is absolutely incredible, and that's always kind of the move for me. Is I'll go to his shop there in St. Louis and at Killer Vintage, and then I'll go over to Pappy's. So, it's just a lot of fun there. But yeah, it's a really good shop. A lot of cool vintage Gibsons, cool amps, cool Magnetones. I was playing through this amp. I can't remember the model and what it was called, but it was a very good sounding amp, man. It was really, really cool. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So that's cool there. But if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. Looks like we've lost a few people here, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going for. I guess it just depends on the engagement. But once again, I really do appreciate everybody's support so much. It really means the world to me. These videos have just been performing incredibly well. And like I was saying earlier, I definitely kind of stirred the pot up a little bit with that Nobles video. I think that definitely kind of pissed off some people. But, that's just my honest opinion, man. I think it's just gotten absolutely crazy how expensive those pedals are. And they are just not that good sounding, to be honest. They're just not, man. I mean, I would say about 10% of them sound excellent. They sound very, very good. But I honestly would say about 90% of them sound awful. Honestly, there's so much low end, and like I was saying in the video, they made the mistake of switching a lot of pots around, so some of them have very little gain, and I just couldn't imagine spending $1,800 on a pedal like this, and it just sounds like shit. I mean, and that's really why I made that video, because I would feel bad if somebody seriously spent that kind of money and really did not like the tone of it, because honestly, a lot of them do not really sound very good, like I was saying. But Richard is in the house. Hey Richard, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, LOL. And we have John in the house. Hey John, what's going on, man? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, hi Justin, I was surprised that you got rid of those nice plexis you had. Good examples of those are getting hard to find, so I'm confused, LOL. Do you know something that I don't know, LOL? Yeah, man, it was sad to let them go. I've spent years trying to find those, and all of those plexis were perfect. The 100 watt had a hole in the back, but other than that, it was totally original with the original transformers and stuff, and it just sounded amazing, man. I love that amp, and especially the 100 watts. The 100 watts are almost impossible to find, man. I mean, they're all very hard to find, honestly, even the 50 watts. But the hundreds especially are almost impossible because the majority of them have really been effed with, and changed transformers, and that's really the big thing for me. If it doesn't have the original transformers, I'm just not interested whatsoever. When it comes to the circuit, there can be some caps changed and stuff because, again, it's a very old amp, and there's going to be things you're going to have done to it, to keep it running right, and to keep it quiet and everything else. But the big thing with those old tube amps is definitely the original transformers to me, and especially the output transformer. The output transformer is what really gives that amp just that very signature plexi tone. And if that is changed, you may as well just go buy a reissue amp, honestly, at that point. And, I just kind of decided to move on from those amps. I loved them for many years. But just for me right now, like, I find myself using my deluxe reverb. That's a 64 pre-CBS. And then I have a Samson era DC30. And for the kind of music that I get hired on for, these amps just work really well for me. It just makes a lot of sense. And the other thing that I have to be careful with is obviously with the amount of touring that I do. With these old amps, they can be very unreliable, because they're very old, and when you're taking the stuff out on the road, it's just taking a beating. Even if you have it in a road case, the stuff is getting thrown around, and it's just getting launched into a truck or into a trailer or something. And, I just need consistency. I need to have this thing very reliable. And that's honestly kind of why I do like the new amps, just because they're all new parts. And for the live thing, it just makes a lot of sense. So for me right now, that's just kind of where I'm at. For me, I would rather have more instruments. Like recently I bought this amazing 64 330 that sounds incredible. You're really going to be playing that clean. You can't really use much gain with it, but it's a very, very good sounding guitar, man. It's just excellent. So I got that. I got a 64 Hummingbird that I really like a lot, and it's a beautiful acoustic. It's 100% original. I got that 66 Fender Telecaster. So I've gotten some really cool instruments as of late, and I've been modifying those reissue guitars as well. And it's just I'm more of an instrument guy more than a tube amp guy. Just to be honest. So that's kind of the realization that I had recently. As I was like, man, I just need to kind of downsize and just go with the stuff that I'm really using and go after the stuff that I really want. And for me, it's all about the instrument. That is just everything to me. And tube amps can be very problematic. They just can. And that's kind of why I just wanted to change up what I was doing there. So just wasn't really using them, and honestly, I love these old Marshall cabinets that I have. I think they sound great with that DSL. That's an old pinstripe. That's a 68 with the metal handles. Pinstripe cabinet there with the original speakers. And then I have off camera there another basket weave 412 cabinet that the speakers have been reconed, but it sounds very, very good. And, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think that a new tube head is going to make a significant difference in the tone. And don't get me wrong, an old plexi definitely will make a huge difference, because the reissue amps are not able to recreate. They're not able to do some simple reverse engineering to figure out what is going on with these old transformers. That's why all these new amps sound so different, is because of those transformers. So it definitely makes a huge difference with the old transformers. But honestly, the old speakers and the old wood, the grill cloth, that stuff also plays a massive role in the overall guitar sound, And it's crazy, man, because I have this DSL 50 that I'm not normally like a huge fan of, to be honest. I mean, I get them on backline a lot, but that amp plugged up into an old Marshall cabinet, it just transforms the sound of the amp, and it makes that amp sound incredible. So, I think it's kind of nice to have the DSL where it's got some new parts, and that amp is very reliable. I mean, every time I turn it on, it just works. I never have to worry about like, what's up with this amp today, or whatever. And, with those old plexis, I mean, I really always kept them at home just because I remember a while back I was doing this gig in Missouri, and I think we were opening for Hinder, or maybe they were on the next night or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I know like it was just crazy because I had brought out my 6800 watt plexi, and man, like we were 3 songs away from finishing the gig, and a fuse blew in that 100 watt plexi. And, fortunately it was just the power amp tubes that went bad, so I had to change those out. And everything was totally fine, but after that I was like, okay, like I'm not going to bring this amp out anymore on the road. It's just it's not consistent. It's not reliable. So the vintage amps, you just really have to leave at home again, because the stuff just takes a beating on the road. And, that's why I do like the new amps, for that consistency and that reliability. So, anyways, there's that kind of a long-winded answer there. Oh, well. Let's see. The Art of Blues is in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks so much for being here. He says here, what's up? Do you ever check the Nashville Craigslist? I bet it's full of great stuff. Any cool finds lately? Yeah, man, I check the local Craigslist all the time, man. And, I actually have a pretty funny story. When I first moved to Nashville about 10 years ago, I bought a Rico signed full tone OCD pedal. And the guy that was selling it was only asking $70 for this pedal. And so I called the guy up and I said, hey, man, I'm interested in the pedal. Would you mind if I tried it out before I pay you? And he was like, yeah, man, that's fine. All good. So we met up at Guitar Center and I plugged it in real quick. And he obviously heard me play at this point because he was standing right there. And he was like, man, one day you're going to be playing for me. And I thought it was some BS. I was like, whatever. I was brand new to town and I thought it was just some sketchy Craigslist deal or whatever. I was like, whatever, some BS. But then a month goes by and he calls me up and he's like, hey, man, I'm going out with Hunter Hayes. You want to come play guitar for me? And that was actually how I got one of my first major gigs here in Nashville. I was brand new to town. It just hit me, when you're talking about Craigslist here, the Nashville Craigslist. I mean, that's how it was in Nashville here back in the day. It's changed a lot. It's still a small town, and it's still there's still stuff like that happens. But back in those days, it just seemed like that kind of stuff happened all the time. But it was a huge break for me. It's how I started meeting a lot of musicians around town. And ever since then, man, I've been doing this full time. So that just, kind of popped in my head, since we're talking about Craigslist. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff, man. I mean, there's always stuff, man. It's amazing with Nashville, the amount of gear that is here, man. I mean, it is just incredible. And since I know everybody here in town, I have a lot of people that reach out to me. And they'll be like, hey, I've got this 335 for sale, or hey, I've got this Nobles, or I've got this for sale. And I mean, it just gets so damn expensive, man. It's just insane, man. It is insane. And it's honestly hard to swing financially, to keep buying all of this stuff. It's just not easy, man. So for me, like, I kind of have to have stuff rotating, all the time. Like, if I buy something, that means I got to sell something, because it's so much money. Like lately, I just bought the 64 330 in Cleveland. It wasn't in Nashville, but it's 100% original, and that guitar is a motherfucker, man. It sounds incredible. I mean, you can't play with too much gain with those 330s because they are fully hollow, but man, that guitar through a clean deluxe reverb or Princeton reverb, it sounds fucking awesome, man. It sounds incredible. It just rings for days, and I love the cherry finish with the nickel parts. I mean, it's just a badass guitar. And, this is a little while ago now at this point, but I also bought a 66 Fender Telecaster, an original blonde finish, which is a motherfucker of a guitar too. 66 was a great year for the Telecaster because there's still a lot of pre-CBS appointments with those instruments in that year. They're still doing a very thin finish, which is excellent. This is before they go to a much heavier finish in the later 60s. And, the saddles are very good on the bridge. They really got that right. The pickups are very good. The pots are good. It's just a great instrument in general. That's just a great year for the Telecaster. And that guitar is just feather light, man. It's so lightweight. It's unbelievable. It only weighs like 6.7 pounds. So very light telly. And I just love that guitar, man. It is phenomenal. Very clean guitar as well. It was not really played very much. But man, that guitar just sounds excellent. So really, really happy with that. But I think that's really about it, man, for new gear for me. I mean, I got that 64 Hummingbird. That's been a little while now at this point. I've had that for a little bit. But yeah, I'm always finding more stuff, man. It never ends, it just never ends. It's just a sickness, man. I just love this stuff, though, man. It's just, I absolutely love these vintage instruments. And, for me, like, I love the old tube amps like I was talking about with John earlier. But, man, I love the old instruments, man. I think that's what it's all about, man. It's all about the source and being inspired by that instrument, man. It's just everything to me. How the instrument sounds, how well it stays in tune, what are the pickups like, I mean, just all of that, man. It's to me, it is so important. It's way more important than an amp or way more important than pedals. It's just hands down the number one thing in my humble opinion. But yeah, folks, once again, if you guys feel like you got something out of today's live stream and you guys want to support me here, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me here on this channel. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really greatly appreciated. These live streams are truly a donation of time. I make absolutely nothing on this. So any and all support is really appreciated. I do want to take the time to mention that I do offer one-on-one online lessons as well, and you're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for these online lessons. It's all shot on a 4K camera, and it's all pro audio as well. And what's so excellent with these lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end, so you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So for more information on this, hit me up today at jkm4231@gmail.com. That is my personal email as well. So if you guys have any questions or concerns or comments, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd be happy to get back with you. And once again, if you are interested in the lessons, I'd be happy to get you down in the books today. But be sure to check out all of those links down below there in the description box. And any and all support, once again, is really appreciated. I truly do need your support to continue this channel going. It really makes a huge difference in my bottom line, honestly. And this community, I'm so thankful for. The people are just incredible. And it's just amazing, the amount of emails I get from people, the love and the support, and just all my students now that I teach from all over the world. It's just been absolutely incredible what YouTube has done for my career. So I'm forever thankful to everybody out there. Man, I'm dragging a little bit today. My phone's blowing up. Get back with them here in a little bit. But let's see here. About 47 minutes here now, folks, at this point. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going. Looks like we still have a pretty decent crowd in the house. So thanks, everybody, so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate everybody being here. And if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I normally do these weekly Sunday live streams at 11:30 Central Time. So, please come on back and join me. These live streams are so fun. It's always really cool to see where the conversation goes. You just never really know, and it's really fun. It's crazy. I mean, I get people on here that join me from all over the world, and it's just kind of a trip for me because it's like, man, I'm just doing this here in my home studio, and it's just crazy to me, the reach with YouTube. It is just amazing. So, and speaking of this, we have Jerk Harry in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? And he says here, hi from Ireland. All the way from Ireland, man. That is really, really cool, man. Thanks so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. Another very loyal supporter there as well. And yeah, folks, again, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I'm hoping this week I'll get back my Les Paul Custom and my R9. I was talking a little bit about this a little bit ago here in today's live stream. But I'm having a lot of work done to that Les Paul Custom, man. It's just incredible the amount of work that I've had to have done to that guitar, and it is a brand new guitar. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, but it just is what it is. I mean, I've had to do a lot of modifications, but I'm really excited to get that guitar back. It's just a badass Les Paul Custom, really cool top. And I'm just having one more thing done to it. I just want to have the ABR drilled into the actual body rather than using the Faber conversion post. So really excited to get that back. I think that guitar should sound really good once I get that back. But let's see here. The Art of Blues says here, could you recommend a good patch/guitar cable company? Yeah, man, definitely. I normally like the Mogami cables. If you're getting like a 25-foot guitar cable, it's really cool with those Mogamis because I've had some of them go bad on me out on the road. And what's cool with those is you could just go right up the road to a Guitar Center and put down the Mogami cable, and they'll do it totally for free to swap it out. And you don't have to pay anything. So, I really like that. They're very consistent. That said, I have had some fail on me for sure. But I think they're the best cable that is out there. When it comes to patch cables, I normally like the Mogami 2319 is the particular cable. And then, you can use like those little square plugs that take up very little room on a pedal board. You do obviously have to solder the cable onto the actual jack there itself. So that would be something that is my favorite patch cable by far. But the cable is Mogami 2319, and then the little plugs are just called square plugs, and they're very low profile, so you could really get your pedals really close together. They sound very good. They're very consistent. I have never had a patch cable go bad on me ever. For whatever reason, the longer cables, I don't know why, but I've had those go bad on me. But again, if you do have one that goes bad on you, you could just go up the road to Guitar Center and just bring it in there, and they'll swap it out totally for free. So they're definitely more expensive for sure, but that's pretty nice to know that you can just do that. There is also another company called Klotz, which I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're a German company, and they make some really nice cables too, but they are expensive as all hell. And I would love to have some of those cables. I think it would be cool, but it's not a diss on them whatsoever. But I think what I like so much about the Mogami is that, again, I could go up the road to Guitar Center and just swap it out for free. Whereas the Klotz, I don't really know how that would work. If they even offer something like that, for one, but for two, if they did, would you have to ship it in, or send it out and then they got to ship it to you, and then it takes multiple days? Whereas the Mogami, if you need something immediately, you can just go in there to Guitar Center, swap it out, and it's totally free. So, and then you just have a brand new cable, obviously. So those are my choices, but the Klotz cables are also very good as well. I think it's just KLOTZ, I think is what it is. Yeah, KLOTZ. But really cool cables there. Very high quality. And we have James in the house, another very loyal supporter. Thanks so much, James. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. It says here, hey, Justin, here late, but wanted to say hi. What's happening, man? Thanks so much for being here once again. Great to see you. And Soft Southern Night here says, just buy old 330s. No repairs needed. Yeah, I mean, that's what's cool. The instruments just need very little maintenance. They need very little attention, and that's what I love about them so much. Maybe in the wintertime you have to give the truss rod a little tweak, but it's not like a tube amp or something where, if the amp is sitting around, you're probably going to have to get it serviced, because the stuff is very old. It's old caps, old parts, and tube amps are very expensive to service as well. I mean, here in Nashville, we're lucky we have some amazing amp techs here, but man, I mean, it just gets so expensive, and I just don't like paying to have a tube amp repaired. I don't know what it is, man. There's just something about it. It's like, it just sucks, But yeah, with these instruments, man, you can play them. They need very little work. So, it's cool. So, for me, I just love vintage Gibsons and vintage Fenders, man. They're my absolute favorite. So. Let's see here. The Art of Blues says here, great, thanks for the info. I haven't heard of Klotz. Have a great Sunday. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Have a great Sunday as well. Thanks so much for being here. Let's see. Tom Sewell, 7202, is in the house. He says here, hey, Justin, ever fool? I don't know what you're meaning by that, but maybe you'll add another comment there and finish out your question there. But, yeah, folks, I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going for. Looks like we still do have a pretty decent crowd here. I've been going here for about 54 minutes now at this point. So, I normally go for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the engagement. So if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. Be happy to answer. Let's see here. Looks like Tom finished out his question here. Says here, hey Justin, ever fooled around with a Variac very much? Yes. So I have used a Variac. I do like to use the brown box, which is actually what you see there. It's not really a Variac, where you can really dial it back. But it's great for running these vintage tube amps because the wall here in Nashville, man, you'll normally get, I mean, 127, 128 volts out of the wall. And these old tube amps were designed to see around 117. So it's nice to be able to have the brown box and save your tubes, because when the amp is running at very high voltage like this, where it's not designed for 117, it's going to change the tone of the amp, and it's also going to really wear down your tubes a lot quicker. So it's just nice to run the brown box and really get it to dial in right around 117. That's normally where I set my vintage tube amps. But the problem is with a variac is that if you use a variac and let's say you're trying to do like the Eddie Van Halen thing where you're dialing it back to like 90 volts, you know, you are actually supposed to rebias the power tube amp section, because you're giving the amp such low voltage that it's actually not good for it. You know, you're supposed to rebias for this kind of voltage because it is so low. And depending on what amplifier that you have, if you have an amp that does like channel switching or something like this, it's actually not good to use a variac to dial back the voltage, because those functions on a tube amp, like channel switching, for example, they require so much voltage, and when you dial it back so much, you could actually affect the performance of the amp with the channel switching because it's not getting enough voltage. So really the variac thing to me is kind of pointless, to be honest. You know, it's really not worth it. I mean, I like the brown box, again, just to be able to dial the amp back to 117 in comparison to it seeing, you know, 128 volts or something. But the brown box works for me. I don't really need to have a variac whatsoever. So, you know, it's definitely a thing, though. You know, when you dial back the voltage, you know, you can definitely hear a difference in the tone for sure. It just there's more low end, and it just sags a little bit more, and there is something to it for sure. I mean, it definitely sounds cool. I definitely like it. But Tom says here, sorry about the misfire. Yeah, all good, man. But yeah, folks, you know, if there's any other questions, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. If you guys feel like you got something out of today's live stream and you do want to support me here on this channel, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me here on this channel. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, once again, any and all support is really appreciated. I do want to take the time to mention once again that I do offer one-on-one online lessons. Take your guitar playing to the next level. You know, these lessons are absolutely amazing, and I really pack these lessons in with a lot of great information, and you're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for these online lessons. It's very good quality video and very professional audio as well. And what's so cool with these lessons is that you'll get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end, so you can just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So for more information on this, hit me up today at jkm4231@gmail.com. It's also linked down below in the description box. Thanks so much for listening. And Tom says here, thanks, buddy. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. But yeah, folks, I think that's going to be about it for today. I've been going here for about an hour, and I've got some stuff that I got to get done here today. But once again, you know, I really do appreciate everybody's support so much. It just really means the world to me. You know, these videos have been performing so well as of late, and you know, we've just been having so much fun, man. It's just been awesome. So thank you for all the kind words, and thank you for all the amazing emails, and thank you for all your support once again. I cannot do this without you guys. So again, check out the links down below if you would like to support me here on this channel. I truly do need your support, so be sure to check out all of that stuff. But that is all for today, folks. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you all next time. Take care.